I really philosophize about everything. And something that I've been thinking about over the last year or so is sports. And what would sports look like if we operated under a paradigm of oneness? So right now, we're pretty much under a paradigm of separation and division, limitation, scarcity, that kind of thing. So that's why sports, especially team sports, competitive sports, they are basically like simulations of war. They're simulations of battles. You know, we see this in all team competitive sports, basketball, American football, soccer, the real football, uh, and then like mixed martial arts too. They're all battles between people. So one wins while the other loses, and you have to make like essentially conquer the other. So they lose in order for you to win. So it's based upon that separation that and it's like scarcity too because only someone can win and someone has to lose. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for you have to do something to push your limits. You have to do something to maximize your physicality. So I'm not saying everyone should just be like a hippie that just sits in meditation at all times. Like I'm constantly thinking, what would sports look like if they even existed if we had that paradigm of oneness? And what I mean by oneness is instead of viewing everything as separate from yourself, it's viewing everything is sharing the same essence. So every person is different manifestations of the same whole. It's like one way to look at this is infinite possibility. You have infinite possibility, and every person is one unique aspect of infinite possibility. And the Buddhists say that we're all like waves to an ocean. So we have this individuality, but we're essentially a part of the same ocean. And a metaphor that I just came up with like a couple hours ago is like a soup. So we're all ingredients in the same soup. And the separation mentality, with that separation mentality, with like wars and all that, it's like you're trying to poison the other ingredients in the soup. It's like the noodle is trying to poison the carrot and because it thinks it's separate and different. So poisoning it would only affect the carrot, right? No, when you're poisoning it, you're poisoning the whole soup. Right? You're hurting everyone, including yourself, when you're throwing around that kind of hatred and things like that. That's why we're seeing the whole planet having an ecological disaster going on, and that's why there's so many miserable, depressed people. But yeah, that's another story and another rabbit hole to go down. But what if we had that mentality of oneness? Okay, what would sports look like? And it's so hard to even fathom because we're so deep in this paradigm. We're so deep in the sports are me against you and I'm the winner and you're the loser. It's pretty ridiculous. So it would be something like that makes you push your own limits without that comparative factor or without that scarcity of someone has to lose in order for you to win. And I honestly don't even know what that would look like. Maybe it would be like some form of dancing where it's not judged dancing, it's just dancing based off of expression. So everyone is just expressing themselves in their own unique way. And of course, some will be more skilled than others, but there's not that judgment attached to it. And we even see the judgment and the comparison in sports, in individual sports that people are doing themselves, like bodybuilding. Everyone is improving, well, improving is a subjective term, but they're building their own bodies, but they're being compared against everyone else, you know? So maybe a more harmonious way to do it would be you do it compared to your previous self. And also under that paradigm, why would you even need medals and things like that and to determine a winner or a loser? Because that's just egotistical gratification at the end of the day. And again, I don't think people should just be lazy and complacent. You need to push yourself to the maximum and you need to constantly improve upon yourself Because if you're not improving and growing, you're dying. That's the natural state of living things, is to grow, improve, evolve. So that's what you need to do. Yeah, so I don't even know what else to say. It's really hard to fathom what sports would look like if we operated under a more harmonious, loving paradigm of oneness. But all I know is that today they're basically simulations of battles and wars, and that's just a product of that paradigm. The paradigm of fear, separation, scarcity, limitation, that stuff. So just be cognizant of that the next time you're saying with your team, we won, they lose, they suck. Because if you're saying they suck, you're talking about yourself too, because we're a part of the same whole. So, peace, much love. One love, baby. One love.